Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I am going to be talking about books that I think you need to read. In order not to repeat myself, these are all brand new books that I haven't talked about on this channel before. However, I have done a video where I talk about some of the life-changing books that I have read. I will link that video down below in case you want to go and check it out. For today's video, I'm only going to be talking about 4 books. So without further ado, let's get started with book number 1. Now, this book came to me at the right time when I really needed it. I was literally sick. At the beginning of the pandemic, I got really sick, where I was literally just lying on my sofa. Eating, drinking was a struggle for me. I developed gastritis, but the really severe one. Stomach was hurting me. I was sick, and through all of that, like me doing research and everything, I came across this book. This book has a special place in my heart. I honestly think that this book should be read by everyone. And the book that I'm talking about is Fiber Filled. I bet none of you guessed that. None of you guessed that, because I actually haven't seen anybody talk about this book at all. But this book is an eye-opener. This book is life-changing. Honestly, if you are somebody who suffers from stomach issues, not only stomach issues, but just want to be healthy, just want to learn about the food that we eat, this is a book that you need to pick up. Especially if you are into health. Actually, I take that back. You don't have to be into health. Especially if you live in Europe, if you live in America, if you live in countries where fast food and processed foods and sugary food is very famous, I would say. Like, we eat a lot of that. If that's you, then you need to pick up this book, because I feel like if you live in Africa and other places, obviously food there is grown organically, and we don't really have a lot of processed foods like that, like sugary foods. Obviously all of those foods are still there, but people eat more organic and more whole food. But for us who live here in London, America, Europe, countries like those, not so much. So if you wanting to learn more about the things that we put into our body, honestly, buy this book, read this book. It changed my life so much. I learned so much about my stomach, about the food that I'm eating, and the importance of eating whole foods, and the importance of including more fiber into my diet. And what I love about this book is written by a doctor. This man went and actually studied this field, so he knows what he's talking about when he talks about the good bacteria in your stomach and your bad bacteria in the stomach. He talks about your microbiome, when he talks about all these different type of things. He has a clinic where people actually pay him money and he helps them. So he's got all of this information and he's written it in the book, and it's like, here you go. I don't own a copy. I read it on Audible. And you might be watching this video thinking to yourself, well, I'm not sick, I'm fine, I'm perfect, everything is great. But let me tell you, prevention is better than anything. If you must pick up any book that I'm going to talk about in this video, pick up Food for Fiber. You will not regret it. You will learn so much about the food that we eat, the importance of looking after our body. Because at the end of the day, if we are not looking after our bodies, then we've got nothing. And you learn how actually food is medicine. You go to the doctor and the doctor said to you, here, take a tablet. What's in that tablet? You know, what's in there? What's really in there? But you will learn that actually food itself is medicine, and it does help you heal in some way. And honestly, this book changed my life. It really did help me heal. Obviously, this book is a plant-based diet, but all I can say is read it, take what you can from it, and what you don't want to take, don't take it. It's just like with anything in life. You don't have to take everything so literally. Like if somebody says, do this, do that, you don't have to take everything they say. Take what works for you and leave what doesn't work for you. But honestly, this book is incredible. Go pick it up. You will not regret it. The next book that I want to talk about is Let Love Have the Last Word by Common. Now, I actually did talk about this book in one of my vlogs, like in the beginning, and I actually never went into details about this book. But I absolutely love this book. This book talks about love in a way that just really spoke to my heart, and I feel like, oh my goodness, this is lovely. And I think why I loved it so much is because it's a book that talks about love, but it's written from a male's perspective. Obviously, it is a memoir, it's an autobiography / memoir, and the way Common talks about love, the way he dived deep into love, into his own love and what it means. It was honestly beautiful to read a book by a male. I don't know if it's just me or I don't look around enough, but I don't really see a lot of books written by male that talk about love. Even romance books, they are mainly wrote by women. Have I actually written by a man? I don't think I have. I honestly don't think I have. But if you're watching this video and you have, please comment down below and let me know of that book. I would definitely love to read it because I love love. As you guys know, I absolutely love love. I think it's a beautiful thing. And listening to this book and listening to this man talk about love, the love he has for his daughter, for his mother, for his father, for himself, for friends, for the world. It was honestly just really beautiful. And the takeaway that I took away from this book was, if a lot of us led with love, the world will be a much, much happier place, which I do agree with. Because think about it, because he said in the book that if, let's say somebody says, oh, can you help me with this? Even if you don't want to help them and you're like, you know what, I'll help you for the sake of love, or I'll look after the planet for the sake of love, or I'll look after my neighbor for the sake of love, the world will be a much happier place. And it talked about the different type of love, because obviously not all love is the same. You know, it's not all the same. The love you have for your mother, father, sisters, friends, the world, animals, whatever it may be, is a different kind of love. And he talked about all those type of love. And at the time when he was writing this book, he was not in a relationship. So he talked about all of the relationships that he's been in and the reason why he thought they didn't work, and commitment issues, should I say? It was just really, really beautiful. And I think if you are looking for a book that talks about love and just the world, you will not be disappointed if you pick this book up. Also, what I loved about this book, because I listened to it on Audible, at every chapter there was like music playing, so it was like really, really nice and really, really touching. Obviously because he's a rapper, although I don't listen to Common's music, I have actually never listened to any of his music. He's a musician, so there was music playing and it was just really, really beautiful. But please, if you guys know of any books written from a male's perspective on love, please comment down below and let me know about those books, because I would love to read them. Definitely Let Love Have the Last Word by Common. Absolutely love it. Although I must say there is trigger warnings in this book, so definitely look that up, and yeah, just be aware before you read it. But yeah, definitely love this book. The next book that I want to talk about is called Don't Keep Your Day Job by Kathy Heller. Now, this is actually also a podcast called Don't Keep Your Day Job, in case you want to go and look up that podcast. The reason why I have actually included this book in this list, because we are now at the beginning of the year. I think this is a really incredible book. If you are anybody who has a side hustle, has a passion, or has a dream and you want to make it a reality, definitely read this book. I mean, the meaning of the book is in the title, Don't Keep Your Day Job. This is a book that talks about if you have a 9-to-5 or you're not happy in that field and you want to go after your dreams and you want to make your passion a reality, then this is a book for you. Also the podcast as well, because I listen to the podcast. I feel like because I listened to the podcast, what was said in the book wasn't very new to me. But if you've never listened to the podcast, then you would definitely find this book fascinating and new to you. So yeah, that's the reason why I included it, because I feel like now is the beginning of the year. Everybody's obviously trying to write their goals and wanting to follow their dreams and things like that. And if you are that person, then definitely pick up this book and definitely look up the podcast as well, because you'll find so much information in it. Lastly but not leastly, the book that I want to talk about is this one, Desert Flower. Now, this is a book that I actually did talk about before in one of my vlogs long time ago, but I wasn't actually doing book related videos by then, so I never really talked about it. But this is a book that has stayed with me since I read it. This is how much it stayed with me. After reading this book, I think I didn't pick up a book for like a week. Like for a week. Honestly, I'm not lying. I did not pick up another book for a week, and that is a long time for me. I was just so lost in this story, and I couldn't believe the things this woman went through. I was like, how is that possible? And I believe this is also a film. This book is old, so it's not new. It is an old book, but you know, I only just read it, I think last year. No, sorry, 2019. And this is a book that, if you are looking for inspiration of strong women, look no farther than this lady. Look no farther than this lady. This lady, we follow it's an autobiography. Should I say it's an autobiography? I'm not sure what genre. No, it's definitely an autobiography. It's a book that talks about Waris, the supermodel, Somalian supermodel. So we follow her from Somalia, how she runs away, her being set up in arranged marriage, her talking against female circumcision, which I think, oh my goodness, that is a topic that I absolutely just want to shout at people who still do female circumcision. Like, why are people still doing such things? Like, I don't understand why people still do that. Just the other day, I was on Facebook and somebody commented and said, why are people still practicing? No, somebody said there are people who are still practicing these things. And then somebody had the audacity in the comment to write down and say, oh, this is culture. Now, hear me out. I'm not a person that gives into hate comments and like answers back or anything like that. But I honestly felt the need to actually comment back to that man, because it was a man who commented that stupid comment. And I was like, listen, this is not a culture thing. I have a culture as well. This is about growing up and actually learning what's right and wrong. And female circumcision should not be allowed. It shouldn't be allowed. Anyway, this is a very heavy read. In case you do pick it up, I gotta warn you, there's trigger warnings in this book. Obviously, look them up because there is quite a lot. But if you're looking for a courageous woman, honestly, I found so much inspiration from reading this book. I cried and got pissed off. But then at the end, this woman is like, don't feel sorry for me. You know, it's like she's written this book. She is a UN ambassador. She's like, don't feel sorry for me. Things happen, but I picked myself up and here I am now fighting for the rights of women. And I just think it's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful story. And if you're looking for a heavy read, or if you're looking for some inspiration, or just looking to learn more about like Somalian culture, because I didn't know much about it, definitely pick this book up. So those are all the books that I am going to be talking about in this video. We are done. Only 4 books. That wasn't so bad. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have found at least 1 book in here that you would absolutely love to read. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next one. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, comment down below, and I'll see you all in my next one. Lots of love. Mwah! Bye.